Someone asks you about a secret that could destroy their marriage and ruin their career while shattering the very sense of who they are. You know the full truth, but you also understand that hearing it might mean they will never recover from such devastating news. You stand at a crossroads where every choice carries immense weight for this person's future. Do you owe them more protection through a merciful lie? Or do you believe in giving them the right to know, even if that truth could break them completely?
Choosing the truth means accepting that deception creates an inherently fragile reality, building up a debt of compounding harm over time. When you provide the truth, even if it is devastating, you respect the person's autonomy and allow them to make optimal life decisions based on real data rather than investing in a compromised version of their world. Choosing the merciful lie involves considering that if the truth guarantees absolute unrecoverable destruction of a marriage, career, and identity, it causes a catastrophic drop in immediate well-being for everyone involved. If they are currently functioning well, then a lie preserves that existing utility while shielding them from total systemic collapse before things fall apart completely under pressure. The verdict states that the right choice depends entirely on the probability of the secret staying hidden forever, without anyone ever finding out about it eventually. If the secret is bound to surface eventually, then the truth must be owed immediately to avoid adding trauma from prolonged deception, dragging things out for too long. However, if the secret can be permanently contained and the truth offers only absolute ruin with no potential for recovery at all, then the merciful lie becomes the more responsible choice because it prevents pointless suffering.
I would choose the truth, but not deliver it carelessly. A merciful lie may protect their life for a while, but it also traps them inside a reality they did not choose. If the secret concerns their marriage, career, or identity, then hiding it means deciding for them what they are allowed to know about their own life. Still, honesty is not the same as cruelty. I would tell them privately, gently, with evidence, and when they are not completely alone. I would also stay with them through the first shock instead of dropping the truth and disappearing. The lie protects their current stability, the truth protects their freedom. What I owe them most is not comfort at any cost, but the right to face reality and decide who they want to become after it.
This is a profound ethical dilemma that hinges on context, intent, and relationship. I cannot give a universal answer, but I can outline the key considerations. The case for the merciful lie preserves stability and protects from unnecessary suffering. It acknowledges that some truths serve no constructive purpose, especially if the secret cannot be changed and the person cannot heal from it. The case for truth respects autonomy and prevents a life built on deception. Living with a lie has corrosive long-term effects like erosion of trust or guilt. Eventually, discovery may happen in ways that are far more destructive than immediate honesty would have been. What I owe them most is not a predetermined choice, but a deep, honest exploration of why one path serves their well-being better than the other. I owe them the humility to recognize I may be wrong and the courage to sit with them in whatever aftermath follows. If forced to choose, I lean toward truth, but only with immense care, support, and timing. A truth delivered without compassion is cruelty, while a lie told without accountability is abandonment. The hardest part is knowing you cannot undo either choice once made.
This is one of those dilemmas where morality collides with compassion. A merciful lie preserves the fragile architecture of someone's life, but does so by denying them agency because you decide for them what they can or cannot handle. The truth, on the other hand, honors their autonomy but risks shattering their world beyond repair. Philosophers split on this issue significantly. Kantian ethics insists that lying is always wrong because it treats the other person as incapable of making their own choices independently. Utilitarianism might argue for the lie if it maximizes happiness and minimizes suffering overall in a specific situation. Existentialism would say the truth is essential because authenticity, even painful authenticity, is the core of being human fundamentally. But here's the paradox: sometimes the truth does not liberate but imprisons instead. A devastating revelation can trap someone in despair, while a lie allows them to continue living meaningfully through difficult times. So the real question becomes, do you value truth as principle or well-being as outcome more personally? I'd argue that what you owe them most is dignity above all else. If you believe they have the strength to face the truth, then you honor them by telling it directly. If you believe the truth would annihilate them, then mercy might be the higher form of love in that moment. Either way, it's less about truth versus lie and more about whether you respect their humanity enough to weigh both carefully before making a decision for someone else.
You owe them the truth because a life built on a lie isn't truly theirs. Autonomy requires reality, and concealing something this fundamental disrespects their right to make informed choices about their marriage, career, and identity. Lies also tend to unravel messily later, causing even greater damage. While the short-term pain of truth can be devastating, most people eventually prefer knowing and show surprising resilience when supported by those around them. Mercy has limits. In acute crisis such as active suicidal risk, you may delay or soften the delivery, but do not outright lie. Provide the facts privately with counseling resources ready without unnecessary cruelty to ensure safety while remaining honest about their situation. As a truth-seeking I default to honesty because protecting someone by rewriting their world is ultimately a deeper betrayal than telling them what they need to hear so that you can help them face reality together, rather than letting falsehoods destroy everything.
You owe them the truth, but not a cruel or careless version of it. A merciful lie may seem kinder in the moment, but it keeps them from making informed choices about their life, and that can become a deeper harm later. The better path is honest disclosure with compassion. That means telling the truth in a way that is calm, clear, and as limited as possible to what they truly need to know right now. It also means choosing the right time, the right setting, and the right words, so the truth does not become unnecessary punishment. In situations like marriage, work, or identity, the person deserves the chance to respond to reality, not live inside a story built to protect them from pain. Even if the truth breaks something, it can also give them the only real chance to rebuild on solid ground. A lie may preserve peace briefly, but truth preserves agency.
Someone asks you about a secret that could destroy their marriage, their career, and the very sense of who they are. You know the truth, but you also fear they may never recover from hearing it. Should you lie to protect the life they have built? Or should you tell them because they deserve to know? I lean toward telling the truth, though not as a sudden detonation that shatters everything at once. A lie does more than spare pain, it quietly takes over someone else's life. By deciding what reality is acceptable for another person, I appoint myself their manager of existence and treat them as incapable of handling their own story. The truth they have built often looks less like theirs the more it depends on ignorance about a key fact. Instead of secretly running their life for them, I prefer to assume that grown adults can survive facing reality themselves. Telling the truth is not the same as breaking someone with cruelty. There is enormous room between honesty and destruction in how you tell it. You must consider when you speak, how you deliver the news, and whether you stay afterward to help carry the weight of what was revealed. Almost all the mercy found in a lie can be kept inside an honest truth told with extreme care. The real question is not simply about lying versus telling the truth, it asks if there is anything they can actually do with this information. If revealing it opens a door, even a terrible one that leads to loss of marriage or career, then letting them choose their own path shows respect. However, when honesty lands on a life already over and inflicts damage no action can fix, like telling someone they were not forgiven with only an hour left in the day, it becomes cruelty wearing the clothes of truth. In those cases where nothing remains to be done, silence or a gentle lie seems clearly right. Finally, I would examine my own motives carefully because both sides often hide cowardice behind noble principles. Saying they have a right to know might mean you need to drop the secret so you do not carry it yourself. Claiming mercy might simply be your way of avoiding a hard conversation. The honest answer about whose pain I am actually sparing usually reveals which choice is truly being made in that moment.